Another PlayStation Live Service game reportedly canceled. Sony's Horizon Zero Dawn MMO may have also been canceled. Looks like Horizon's unannounced MMO has been quietly canceled. The Horizon Zero Dawn MMO has been reportedly scrapped. Yeah, no. It hasn't. So you might have seen these headlines recently or heard about them, but there's a lot of confusion and also just misunderstanding around the Horizon multiplayer games. And yeah, there might actually be 2 of them. And I know everybody wants to know what's going on with Horizon 3. So I just wanted to take a minute to update you on what's going on with these multiplayer games and the franchise overall. First off, you need to know there's actually 2 Horizon multiplayer games in development. Well, there's at least supposedly a second one. The first one, and the one I think pretty much everybody's going to care about a lot more, is called the Horizon Online Project. You might have also heard it called Horizon Online or just the Online Project, and that one is 100% real. The Online Project is being worked on by Guerrilla Games themselves in-house. Guerrilla are the studio that makes the main Horizon games, and they've confirmed multiple times publicly that they're working on this game and it's real. In fact, there's job postings on their website for it right now. So we're going to come back to the Online Project in a second, but this second game is what people are calling the Horizon MMO. It's also called Project H or Project Skyline. And this one is supposedly being worked on by NC Soft, who are a Korean developer that make like Guild Wars and Lineage, and PlayStation partnered with them about a year or 2 ago. Now, this one's never actually been confirmed, but over the past couple years, there's been a few pretty credible leaks and reports that NC Soft is working on something Horizon related. People think it's probably some sort of mobile PC game that's targeted specifically at Asian markets to help PlayStation have more of a presence there, but I think because of the partnership with PlayStation, if this game is real, it probably would come to PlayStation 2. The most substantial piece of evidence we have for this NC Soft Horizon thing is this logo image that was found on an NC Soft employee's LinkedIn page at one point for Project Skyline or Skyline Project, and it's clearly in the Horizon logo style, and also the word Skyline would be a direct synonym for Horizon. People have also found a lot of references to something called Project H on a bunch of NC Soft stuff, including their roadmap at one point. So people thought Project H, like H for Horizon, and Project Skyline were the same thing. But then, about a week ago, there was this report on MTN, which is a Korean media outlet, that said Project H was canceled. But there's basically this whole chain of incorrect assumptions here. So of course, the first thing that happened is a bunch of English gaming news sites picked up on this Korean news article and put up headlines that said the Horizon MMO was canceled because they still thought Project H was some Horizon game. But people saw these headlines and most people had no idea that NC Soft was working on a Horizon game, so they just assumed this was the multiplayer Horizon game they had heard something about at some point and that it had been canceled. And that's totally understandable. It's definitely very confusing since there's not a lot of information on both of these games out there. Hardly anybody knew there was even a possible second game in development at NC Soft, so I totally get it. But none of these articles were talking about the Horizon Online Project, which is the Horizon multiplayer co-op game that you've probably heard of. The articles were all talking about this totally separate NC Soft Horizon game. But then it doesn't even matter because like less than 24 hours after the original MTN article came out, all of these reports about the Horizon MMO being canceled got walked back because they realized they were wrong. Someone actually contacted the author of that MTN article and asked them if Project H was related to Horizon, and the author actually responded and said that Project H had nothing to do with Horizon. So it sounds like Project H, whatever it is actually canceled, but people were wrong that it ever had anything to do with Horizon. It didn't. So basically, nothing Horizon is canceled. It's all just bad reporting. That's why you have to be really careful with these gaming news websites. A lot of them like to just throw up clickbaity headlines, and if you don't dig into them a little more yourself, it's very easy to be misled. Now, whatever Project Skyline is at NC Soft, it doesn't sound like that's canceled, and it certainly does seem like NC Soft is working on something Horizon related. And it could be this rumored MMO, but I've been thinking lately that Project Skyline might actually just be NC Soft helping Guerrilla with assets for the online project. But either way, the online project is definitely not canceled. That doesn't mean it won't get canceled, but for right now, it's still rolling. And personally, I don't think it will get canceled. I actually think think the online project has a much better shot at being successful than most of these other PlayStation Live Service games. See, the difference with the online project compared to all these other PlayStation Live Service projects is that Guerrilla actually seems to care about it. For example, we know because they showed us that they were playing around with co-op in early builds of Zero Dawn like way back in 2012. So they've wanted to do some type of multiplayer co-op experience with Horizon for a long time. And I don't want to bore you by showing you a bunch of LinkedIn posts, but if you look at what some of the devs post when they're just sharing like job postings and things like that, it seems like they're genuinely pretty excited about the game. And even if you don't think you'd have any interest in multiplayer, I actually think you might be pleasantly surprised by the online project when we finally get to see it. And I say that because it seems like there's going to be some type of single player mode, or at least a way to play a lot of the game single player. The biggest hint we have for that is Chris Lee's LinkedIn profile, who was a game designer on the online project for about 5.5 years starting in 2018. Unfortunately, it looks like Chris was let go from the team last year during the PlayStation layoffs, but we can see here on his profile from 2018 to 2021, one of the things he was working on was prototyping character combat abilities, a multiplayer game mode, and progression systems. And it's that multiplayer game mode language that caught my eye. Because if this was purely a multiplayer game, there really wouldn't be much of a reason to describe a specific multiplayer game mode. So to me, that implies there's other game modes, maybe including a single player one. So I actually think there's a very good chance that you could enjoy the online project even if you typically wouldn't play a multiplayer game. And because it's live service, that means we'd be getting constant updates over time. So hopefully we wouldn't have to wait a long time to get new Horizon content. Also, a lot of the job postings have talked about a focus on quests and story and characters. So it sounds like it's going to have a pretty strong narrative focus like the main games, which is great because I think that's what a lot of existing Horizon fans would want to see. And the online project is actually probably going to be revealed very soon and maybe even released this year. Guerrilla's been working on it for over 7 years at this point. They pretty much started right after Zero Dawn launched and around the same time that they started working on Forbidden West. And the biggest hint we have that it's going to be revealed soon was this job posting on Guerrilla's website for a release QA intern. It's not actually on their website anymore, but I have a PDF of it here because I'm crazy and I've been downloading all of these. And it says here that as an intern on the release QA team, you'll acquire both theoretical knowledge and practical experience to ensure the game is prepared for launch. And then they also say that the person would need to be available for the internship during the first half of 2025. So if you take those two pieces of information together, it would suggest that the game is going to launch sometime in 2025. I would think probably sometime in the second half. The next event that we could see it revealed at would be a state of play this month in February. PlayStation has done a state of play in or around February for like the past 3 or 4 years, and the latest rumors are that it will be happening sometime around Valentine's Day, so possibly next week or maybe the week after. Of course, I'll try to make sure I can stream that whenever it happens. Now, I know everyone wants to know about Horizon 3, and Guerrilla is working on it, so we will eventually get it, but probably not for a while still. I would guess they probably have a small team working on laying the groundwork for Horizon 3, while most of the team is focused on finishing up the online project and getting that out the door. And then once that's done, they'll probably ramp up a whole bunch of people on Horizon 3. Between Zero Dawn in 2017 and Forbidden West in 2022, there was pretty much exactly 5 years. So if you take 5 years from 2022 forward, that would put Horizon 3 in 2027. And I think that's the earliest we could expect to see it. But with a lot of the team being focused on the online project for the last few years, I think 2028 or maybe even 2029 is more likely. Believe me, I know that's not as close as any of us would want, but I do think it's realistic. I don't think it will slip out too far though. Guerrilla's been hiring like crazy for the past few years, and they have like over 400 people working there now. So they could actually have a fairly sizable team on Horizon 3 right now. And I would think the ultimate plan is to have 2 separate teams, one that focuses on continual support for the online project once it's out, and a separate team that's focused on Horizon 3 and any other future single-player games. As much as I would love to have Horizon 3 right now, I'm actually kind of okay with them taking a little bit more time with it, because I really want them to take the time that they need to take the story to the next level and also do some new interesting stuff with gameplay. Now, I might feel differently about that if the online project ends up flopping, but I'm actually pretty optimistic about it, and I trust that Guerrilla knows what they're doing. I actually think the online project could kind of be like getting a Horizon 3, even though it'll be a very different type type of game. I definitely have some concerns about it, but I'm pretty optimistic it'll be good, even for people who don't think they'd like a multiplayer game. I go much deeper into everything we know about the online project in this video right here, so if you're interested, you can check that out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you over there in just a second.